Hi, my name is Luke Coutinho, and you're watching me on It's Goa. My name is Luke, and I work in the space of integrative and lifestyle medicine. Born in Goa, this is home for me, but I live in different parts of the world. The base is Mumbai right now. But I've been practicing in this field for about 10 years right now. We have patients all across the world. Our field of medicine is very holistic in nature. We're not alternative, we're integrative. We have oncologists, we have radiologists, we have surgeons, we have doctors that we work together with for the patient. But what we do is, to the allopathy, we also add nutrition, exercise, emotional wellness, sleep, and our job is to basically work to help the patient get off medication with the doctors in the loop because they've changed their lifestyle or they've addressed the root cause of the problem. I think, it was home for me, and I've had some of the fondest childhood memories over here. You tend to realize the worth of Goa when you live in other busy cities across the world. While we were growing up, things were kind of slow, laid back, like everyone would say, and I feel that's exactly what the world needs at this point, to kind of slow down and take it easy, maybe get an afternoon nap when you can, and yet be productive and creative. So childhood was great for us. We had access to nature, we had access to beaches, life was slow, we had great schools, great teachers. So I think these are some of the fondest memories, and of course, growing up with family, great parents, siblings, great friends. So I think these were some of the childhood memories, that I remember. So I studied hotel management right across Pulverim over here, IHM. And there was a subject called nutrition and food science. And that's where I fell in love with the subject of nutrition. I didn't like hotel management at all. I don't even know why I did it in the first place. But today, when you reflect, I probably needed to go through that journey to understand that there was a subject called nutrition and food science. And so out of, I think, 16 or 18 subjects that we had, that's the subject that I decided to specialize in. And I took an interest in the human body anatomy. So even though I moved into the corporate world and continued to work, I always continued studying. I did pediatric nutrition, and then I continued to study integrative oncology and different verticals of nutrition until I figured that it's time to leave the corporate life, and I felt my calling was back into health. And that's how I got into integrative and lifestyle medicine. So it was a small stint, to be quite honest. So while I was doing my hotel management, my cousin owned a restaurant in Anjuna. And so I used to work there on the weekends as a waiter. We used to do our training over there. And at that time, it was very different. It was more of the hippie time in Goa at that point, and a lot of really good rave parties happening. And so I used to sit a lot with Russian DJs, Israelis, and we were great friends because we used to hang around there. One day, the DJ didn't come. He was actually sick. And so my cousin, he was like, hey, listen, just play some music. I was like, I don't know what to play. He said, just play anything. You've been sitting with these guys all day. At that time, we had something called MDs and we had CDs. So I found a couple in his case, and some of them were like just 2-hour sets. And so I played them and it was pretty good. And I played it for almost 4 parties until the DJ came back. And then after that, that's when I realized I kind of liked it. So I would play on the weekends, for a couple of parties in Goa, just for about 2.5 years. And once I finished college and I went to Mumbai, that was the end of my DJ career. So we started our practice about 10 years ago, but then we figured the word YouCare was something that we created because we found that a lot of people today who are sick or they suffer from anything. It could be acne to a cancer. It really stems from not caring about themselves. So we figured that rather than, self-care, the word self-care started to get too selfish. People started putting themselves first and becoming very selfish with the word self-care. So we figured YouCare kind of brings responsibility on people to look after themselves, prevent. And if they're sick, they can even figure out, ways and lifestyle changes that they can make to get better. And so we decided to build YouCare as a community where like-minded people who wanted to make changes, not just in their health, but even in their relationships. Now, why are relationships important? Because a lot of people are unhappy in their relationships. That unhappiness also leads to health problems. they eat the wrong foods, they're sad all the time, they don't work out, they can't sleep at night. So we figured that holistic wellness connects everything together. It's not just nutrition, it's not just allopathy, it's not just chemotherapy, it's not just about the supplements you take, it's everything together. The time you spend in nature, sunlight, good friends, good connections with people. So that's when we decided that YouCare would be a community of people which are action-oriented. I want to make a change in my life today. What's the simplest way to start? It can be expensive, it can be free. So the YouCare community started to build, and we're over, maybe 2.5 million people today in all of our communities. And these communities basically teach health, they treat people, they help people through emotional wellness, and that's the whole community. And it could simply be to encourage people to do little things that can help them care for themselves. Yeah, so we're about 160 people all over the country. And then, of course, we have our medical tie-ups with hospitals across the world, from the US to Dubai, London, all over. And our primary service is our patients. We have patients every day. So we consult with them, we treat them. Some of them are on 3-month programs, some of them 6 months, depending on the cycle of how long their cycles of chemo are. We treat all diseases because the fundamental of what we do is immunology. So we treat from diabetes to acne to PCOS. So that's what we've been doing for 10 years. That's our primary business. We also have an e-commerce platform where during the lockdown, we noticed a lot of people, we would suggest certain foods that they should eat. And the next question was, where do we buy it from? So we had the idea where one of our patients suggested, why don't you create an e-commerce platform where you take all the best brands that are doing authentic things. So they're organic, they're really organic. If it's sugar-free, they're really sugar-free. And just create a platform where all these products are on. So when people come onto this platform, they can buy whatever they want. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to look at labels because it's already verified by a whole team of nutritionists and food science experts. So that's another platform that we've created. It's now gone international because people like to shop in a place where they can trust everything. So if someone wants to buy a coconut oil, we don't endorse products. They'll find 50 different coconut oils, but all of them are verified. So now you can decide which one you want to buy based on the brand, based on the price. Then we also have our own podcast, which is in the top 5% in India right now, top 25% around the world. And our podcast is called Reimagine Your Lifestyle, where we teach people the simplest ways of changing their lives, whether they have a deadly disease, whether they have a mental health problem. So these are some of the things that we do. And of course, we do events because we're invited to speak at different events around the world. So these are some of the things that we do. But our primary business is our patients. We have an institute called LSI, and we're affiliated with the Mumbai University, the Bangalore University, Pune, where we teach integrative and lifestyle medicine. We have BScs in nutrition. We have PGs. We have all of these 3-year courses as well. And we're moving into PhD very, very soon. But we already teach this. So we already have our academy. Some of it is online and some of it is university-based. Yeah, quite a few of them. I think we have the GQ top 50 most influential Indians. We have Vogue. We have the BW under 40 most powerful. We have the most powerful 500 in the UK. And I think the best award, which I feel the most proud of, proudest of is the nomination by Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the Champion of Lifestyle and Wellness for India. So these are a couple of awards that, we're proud of. Yeah. We've known for the longest time. We've been working for over a year and a half, maybe 2 years now. We work with a lot of people from Bollywood, Tollywood, and even professional athletes from around the world. To be honest, Mahesh didn't have any problems because one request was knowing the work that we do that keep me healthy through whatever I do. Because in movies, you need to go through transformation, change your body, move from thin, put on weight, get ripped. And in the process, a lot of people, not Mahesh, a lot of people use supplements. And some of these supplements have very severe side effects. And since our job is we handle liver transplant patients, kidney transplant, we look at vital organ health as well. He had a very, very different aspiration. He was saying, through my journey, just look after my health. Make sure whatever I'm doing, I don't, cross boundaries. I don't do anything to harm my health. So Mahesh is absolutely natural in all ways. always been there. He likes to work on his mental health, emotional health, because there's a lot of discipline required in maintaining, a great body, strict nutrition, great sleep habits, and also not falling prey to vices in the industry that exist. So that's the work that we do with him literally on a daily basis for the last 1 year. It's very simple. It doesn't matter whether you're a star or it's people just like any one of us, from students to everyone. Mental health is mental health. What we put in our mind, if we're not able to process it, if we suppress it, we become victims to it, that's poor mental health. Because our minds are constantly getting filled with stuff that we hear, stuff that we watch, the news, negativity, positivity. But if we're not mindful human beings and we don't understand that we're not supposed to become victims to everything we hear and see, that is a fundamental of mental health. So sometimes, of course, some people require stronger levels of mental health because they're dealing with very difficult roles, or there's a lot of discipline. Everyone around you is eating and enjoying food, but you need to be on a very disciplined diet. So all of this contributes to, empowering ourselves with better mental and emotional health. And of course, we're all in different walks of life today where everyone has problems within families, out of families, in relationships, at workplaces. And I think the more access we have to social media, and we spend more time on social media without being mindful, social media is the biggest destruction to emotional and mental health. So a lot goes into building great mental and emotional health. It starts with you taking personal responsibility for where you are and a desire to get better. It was very simple. We want to lead as a brand. So a lot of people think that you can't do it. And it was the easiest 8 days for us. And we had thousands of people from around the world who joined us, including companies. And we've got thousands of testimonials post that. And we're still actually putting the testimonials and the data together to see the changes that people have made, through this. But right now, I know we've hardly gone through 500 of them, but the commonalities of what people achieved with the social media detox was, number one, better and deeper sleep. We even had insomniacs who had not slept well for the last 10 years say that their sleep had improved just by being on social media. The second commonality was an improvement in emotional health. That some people reported that their self-esteem and self-confidence had gone up. Many reported that we don't even see why we need to get back on social media. We just realized that we can live without it. So we're still processing the data, but the whole idea of doing it was to give ourselves a break, our teams a break, our patients a break, and let people realize that when you do it, what changes in your body, what changes in your life. We had so many positive comments coming from people in relationships that, hey, we have more time with one another, where there's more time spent with each other rather than on the phones. So we're still processing the data, but we plan as a brand to do 8 days or 10 days every 2 to 3 months. And we're trying to encourage more and more brands and people to actually take this up. Every day, it's just become a national bestseller as of about 3 days ago. So it's doing really well, and we're really happy. This is a very different book that I've written compared to the other books that I've done. So what we figured out was our success over the last 10 years. Let's study all of our successful patients and let's see what they've done to succeed. Whether it's a cancer patient who's gone into remission, a type 2 diabetics who has now reversed their diabetes, people who have reversed high blood pressure, all of that. So we started looking at the data and we realized that diet is not everything. It's important. But there were small things that people were doing every day, small lifestyle changes that they were building every day, and they were consistent with it. So we thought, what if we take these small wins, these small lifestyle changes, and put it together in a book? So we took the top 100 small wins that people can do every day. It doesn't cost you money. It doesn't take too much of time. But if you do it consistently, these small wins tend to become habits and lifestyle changes. And that is what changes our health or helps us prevent disease, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical. So it took us a year to put all of this together. We launched it, I think, earlier this year. And we're continuing to do book launches across the country and eventually the world. But that was the intention of small wins. And we've got 1,000+ testimonials flowing in, showing the impact of the book. So we're very proud of that. I think no one should base their definition of success on other people. Like, for example, a Warren Buffett's definition of success will be very different from someone else. I think success is a personal thing, and it keeps changing all the time. Like, it should align with what our values are. So for me, my values are time. Okay, I am successful if I can create more time. Okay, someone else's success may be money because that's more important than time. So they have a lot of money, but they don't have time. So for me, success is freedom. And what defines freedom is that I get to choose to use my time the way I want to, where I want to spend it with my family. Now, in this time, I can relax, or I can also build a business. So now I can have abundance, I can have wealth, I can have time. So your success is according to your values. So a lot of people choose success based on other people, but it should be based on your authentic self. So right now in my life, what is important for me? Time and the freedom to do what I want. I should be able to fly to a different country, consult with patients there, and also consult with patients back in India because I can use technology. That gets me freedom. For me, that is success. But I think what drives me is impact. If I'm able to impact people's life, even in the smallest way, even maybe just through an Instagram piece of advice or a video that I do or a proper consult with a patient, I think that impact is a reflection of my success, my personal success. But I think everyone should change and their definition of success according to what is important to them. So a lot of people say, hey, Luke, I'm successful. I have so much of money, but they don't have their health. So they're not successful. I think success is having everything in balance. Good family, good relationships, good health, a decent amount of money to feel fulfilled, to pay your bills, and all of these things together. So it's a very personal thing. I think our future plans, I always say my next plan or my next goal is my next patient, because that's what's made us successful. By giving our 100% to every patient who's come is really what's built us as a brand and as a business today. So we will continue. I have experts who will build an e-commerce. I have experts who will, create events for us. But I think our primary focus is our next patient, because I think we think that health is getting better, but it's actually getting worse. Right now, as we speak, India is the diabetic capital of the world. And Goa is the diabetic capital, literally, of the country. And so what we see people running on the road, having protein shakes, doing all of these things, but it's not translating into the statistics of disease. So I believe there's a lot of work to be done in creating awareness and creating inspiration for people. And also disease is also changing all the time. The same science and research 10 years ago is probably not valid today because disease has changed. You've seen how viruses have changed as well. So constantly things are changing because the environment is changing. So every day is a learning process for all of us as a team, and you've got to be very open to learning. A lot of people don't want to change what they've learned in college, what they've learned in medical school. They want to still keep those blinders on and practice. And that's where you have very negative limitations in healthcare. But the point is we all have to keep learning, and I think everyone needs to keep doing their part to make the community healthier. I think the message is simplicity. Health is simple. Everyone knows right now if they're suffering from a health problem, a weight problem, a hormonal problem, they already know what they're doing wrong. Maybe 4% of all diseases are highly genetic in nature, like a blood cancer or a certain lymphoma, where no matter how fit you are or how sick you are, you get it. And you have no reasons as to why you got it. But that's only 3 to 4 to 5%. The balance 95% of people who are sick today and unhealthy you already know what you're doing wrong. So instead of taking complicated diets, complicated exercise programs, start making lifestyle changes. Take help where you need. Speak to experts where you need to get knowledge. Stop looking at social media as a source of knowledge. Unless you have 1 or 2 experts that I'm only following them. But if you're following 50 people, you're getting 50 different opinions, and now you're more confused. So it's extremely important for us to understand that health is really simple. Every one of us have an intelligence within us. The same intelligence that gave birth to us has the intelligence to also heal us, repair our bodies. But if we come in the way of nature, we don't allow that intelligence to work. It's as simple as that. So sometimes just get out of the way. Get out of the way and let nature do what it needs to do. Take medicine when you need to. But you can't be on medicine for a lifetime. You should be making lifestyle changes so that your doctors can say, hey, your pressure's coming down. Let's get you off this medication. Hey, your sugar levels are coming to place. Let's stop your medication. But that's only if you're making lifestyle changes. And lifestyle changes are free. They're simple. But once you get sick, healthcare is very, very expensive. So I would want you to invest in prevention.